the ultra running endurance world, there's the ultra marathon trail runners in the mountains, and then there's the pure speed ultra marathoners who perform on tracks, flat trails, and even treadmills. Beginning as a collegiate track and field and cross-country runner, Zach Bitter quickly realized he got more and more competitive as the races got longer. In 2010, Bitter would toe the line for his first ever 50-mile ultramarathon, and in just 9 years, he would become the world record holder for both the 100-mile and 12-hour sanctioned distances. At an average pace of 6 minutes and 48 seconds per mile, Bitter would run 100 miles in a world record time of 11 hours, 19 minutes, and 13 seconds. If you do the math, that's, believe it or not, 4 back-to-back sub-3-hour marathons. But Zach's story gets even more interesting. In 2010, as he moved to ultra running, he found the traditional carbohydrate-centered fueling approach just didn't cut it anymore. While admitting he ate a somewhat clean diet at 60% carbohydrate mix, Bitter ran into a number of issues with the higher carb-centric approach to fueling.
As I ramped the training load up beyond 20 hours a week, I also ramped my carbohydrate intake, and that's when the issues began. For me, it created inconsistent, unpredictable sleeping patterns, large energy swings during the day, and inflammation in my ankles. Although I was able to manage this for the 50-milers I had done to date, I struggled to see a path forward if I was going to eventually focus on race distances of 100 miles and beyond.
It was at this time that Zach got to meet up with world-renowned ketogenic and sports science researcher, Professor Jeff Olin. It was his work on a higher fat, lower carb approach to fueling that gave Zach the confidence to transition from the traditional high carb approach.
When I began, I first transitioned to a more strict low carb keto diet approach for the duration of the 4-week off season. I felt great on typical daily tasks and no training structure, but once I began to build back up for my next race season, I began to notice I would need something different if I wanted to train and race properly. I felt fine on lower intensity sessions, but flat on things in the moderate to high intensity range. I then brought back some of the carbohydrate I had replaced with fat to fall more in the low carbohydrate range versus a strict ketogenic approach.
While the approach delivers predictable results, in 2020, Zach broke another 100-mile world record. When COVID shut down racing, Zach focused his race fitness to an attempt to break the 100-mile treadmill world record. In partnership with S Fuels, Nordic Track, Ultra, Buff, and Coros, Zach live streamed his world record 12-hour and 9-minute run with the who's who of the ultra media looking out. Together, they attracted a live viewing audience of over 35,000 onlookers. The viewers watched as mile by mile, Zach delivered while only consuming, get this, 15 servings of S Fuels Race Plus and a packet of potato crisps.
In the off season, where my training load is at its lowest, my diet is close to 5% carbs and over 75% fat. But in the height of race season, I could be as high as 20% or even 30% carbohydrate. On race day, while I'm burning a massive amount of fat for fuel, I absolutely take on carbohydrates, but I'm typically in the 30 to 40 gram per hour range for 100-mile races, versus what the current single-day ultra guidelines would suggest of 50 to 70 grams per hour.
Prior to his 2020 world record treadmill attempt, Zach moved to S Fuels and has continued to lay down sizzling performances, including just last December's win at the Brazos 100-miler in Texas and racing to the win at the USATF 100-mile Road National Championship in 2021. Join me later this month, the social posts are coming, when I interview Zach and go deeper with him on this topic and what's next for the continuing story of Zach Bitter. If you want to test out what Zach is using, check out the offer below on the Quick Start Tapping Guide.